All right. Are we live? I think we are. I don't see it because of that weird little box that's coming up on my end. So we're just going to go over there real quick. Sorry, guys.
Yes.
Do you see we're live? We're good? Okay. All right. So let's get started. I am curious who here is getting really, really frustrated because it feels like you have no one to talk to. Or maybe you are posting every single day. You are showing up. You're doing the do. You're making the post. You're doing the stories. You're doing the reels. You're doing these things, but they're like, nobody. You have crickets. Super, super frustrating. I feel you. I've been there. Or what about have you spent hours on the phone? Hours promoting and talking and talking and talking to the point where your spouse or your kids are like, dude, you are always on your phone. This is a problem. Been there myself too.
Yes. So have I.
Or maybe you don't have a clear strategy and you're confused and your head is spinning. If that is you, I'm here to say today's training is for you because Cassie and I, we are going to be talking about how to grow a following on Facebook and then turn them into sales and members. So let me know who you are, where you're coming in from. My name is Sarah Lynn Kate. I'm just one of the founders. I'm not as cool as my co-founder, Cassie Billingsley, which is AKA the Systematic Chick. She's got a really cool name. I'm very jealous of her. Mine's just Sarah Lynn Kate. But we are super happy to be here with you today. We've got a lot of good training coming at you. We've been there. We have recognized the struggles that it could be with growing a following on Facebook. We've recognized the struggles of building up a relationship, and then ultimately doing what really the bottom line is turning them into sales and members. So we're pretty pumped about sharing that with you today because it could solve a lot of the problems and struggles that you are dealing with. So, like I said, let us know who you are, where you're coming in from. Just so you know, if you're anything like Ann Cook, for some reason, StreamYard doesn't like her. That's how your name's going to come up. So unless if you go ahead and try to give permission to StreamYard, but for some reason StreamYard doesn't like Ann. It doesn't like me either. So go ahead and above this video, you can click on that description, give them permission, blah, 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 and cross your fingers, see if they like you and you are worthy of them displaying your name in your picture. If not, just go ahead and put Ann next to it, just like this. So that way, or your name, you don't want to confuse yourself with Ann, put your name. So that way we know it's you. We love connecting and talking back and forth with you guys a bit. So go ahead and do that right now if you guys have the chance. And if you're catching the replay, just drop a hashtag replay so we could come in later. So anyways, Cassie, you've got the very first point for today's training and this workshop that we have with growing a following. Why don't you dive on in, girlfriend?
Yeah. So, hey guys, and welcome and joining us. So the first point that I want to bring up is Reels. Now, some of you might have cringed and was like, "Oh, hold on!" Like Reels is the most like marketing efforts, and it is because Reels is it's a way to get out there, get a new following. Short form video is one of the top ways of marketing right now, if you haven't noticed on Facebook. So be strategic though when you're creating content that will reach, because we're talking reaching mass amount of people, right? You're going to start gaining visibility from strangers when you start creating those reels. So Facebook right now, they just launched, I think it was this year, maybe the end of last year, beginning of this year, they started pushing out reels. Okay. Facebook reels get a lot of traction. They get a lot of views. It grows your following and you're reaching people outside of your Facebook friend list circle that you have. So start doing reels. So you might be thinking, well, Cassie, I don't know how to create reels. Like, where do I even start? Create content that your audience is looking for and searching for, right? So ask yourself these things. What kind of questions is your audience asking? What keywords are they searching? What are they Googling? Google is a huge asset, guys. If you go in and you put in, struggling to get sales, It's going to generate thousands of things for you to go through and look through. So Google it. It's the problem that you're trying to solve. Remember, when you're creating content, it's the problem that you solve, right?
Mhm.
Other people are struggling with that same problem. So use those keywords. Is it weight loss? Is it gut health? Is it mental health? Is it skincare? Use those in your niche, in your little bubble that you have that you're working with. What problems are they solving? Because how you're going to target those very specific people in Reels is you're going to use hashtags, guys, that are related to the problem. So your reel gets shown to the right audience. Okay. If you don't use Reels, if you don't use hashtags, I encourage you to start looking at them, see what the view count is. You can see, 3,000 people use this hashtag, 600,000 people use this hashtag. If you can, narrow your hashtag down to just a few thousand, okay, when you're creating your reels, because it's going to get seen more. If you use hashtags that are in the hundreds of thousands to millions, you're going to be a little tiny blimp that gets lost in the sea of flooded hashtag use, okay? So that's an expert tip. Always use the smaller hashtags so you get seen more by more people of your right audience. And make sure that you're maximizing your efforts by setting up your profile to public. I guess that's the part I should have asked earlier. Or
that's okay.
Professional, because Facebook has two different settings. It has a public, just your normal profile, which majority of us have, because I have that, or business profile. Business profile is used to leverage Reels, guys. It is one that when Facebook sees you're in a business profile setup, and Sarah Lynn can touch on this a little bit because she knows a little bit more than I do because she's looking at switching hers. So I'll leave it there.
Oh, good. I can fill in. So it's a professional mode. So it's not necessarily a different page or anything like that. Like there is
It's
a
not a
business
business page.
Yeah, this is not a business page. This is where you're taking your personal profile and you are turning on professional mode. And basically by professional mode is great for influencers who are looking to build up an audience, but still have more of that community feel on your personal profile. So you're taking it kind of like to an elevated notch, essentially. And what's really cool about the professional mode is Facebook is pushing it out even further because it's a newer profile, it's a newer feature to the metaverse. And anytime there's something new, they're testing it, and you can get some great wins from that. Also, they provide insights. So as you're getting to know your audience and they're getting to know you, they're going to share with you insights about certain pieces of content that you had provided. So not just views, but they'll show, hey, this particular video, you had people watch the whole thing versus just 3 seconds of it, which can count as a view, which can be a little deceiving sometimes. So there's some great information that I can provide you. But ultimately, like trying to think of like, what can I do that will maximize my efforts, give me the biggest bang for my buck. That way you're not feeling so stretched out by doing all of the things.
Right.
So that's where, by having it at least set to, if you don't want to do professional mode just yet, at least setting your profile to public. That's key if you're trying to build up a business.
Yes. Yes, it cannot be private.
Exactly. Like it's got to be public. So doing one or the other, super, super important. Because that's going to be really important for when you start to attract your audience, because that's essentially what you're doing with Reels. You are putting out content that your ideal audience can connect with, that they're researching, and then you're going to be building up a relationship with them. And then this is what we're going to say is you can then connect. First, you can create and connect with a power base. A power base is a group of people that you want to work with, that you want to help. And these are going to be your ideal customers and ideal business builders. Now, yes, you will get passive or people who will just passively buy from you, because you'll have links. Like, we do suggest that you have like a mini link in your profile, stuff like that. And that's something that we can teach you later on or inside our mentoring program, which I might have just spilled a little bit of the beans on. It's coming out again. Sorry, didn't mean to say that, but there are things there that we're able to teach you on to maximize, so you could at least get those passive purchases, meaning you don't have to have a conversation with anybody. They just buy it from you, which is really, really cool. Or for those with the other 50% or so, like, you have to have a conversation, especially if it's a business builder. And with your power base, it is basically where you pick out key people where you're like, wow, this person's really cool. I like their vibe. I like their work ethic. I feel like we could actually do really, really well with each other. You put them into your power base and you make note of these people. You make note of the people who are engaging with you. They're dropping the likes, they're dropping the comments on your content, and you go stalk them. You check out their page, see if there's somebody that you'd like to build up a relationship with and connect even further. And if so, send them a friend request. Send them or add them into, and add them on a piece of paper or however you want to track, so that way you can intentionally build up a relationship with them.
Yes.
Now, by all means, a relationship does not mean to send them spammy messages full of your links or anything like that. No, we're not doing that. We are 2022 marketers, and we are taking our business to the next level. So it is important that you just don't bombard them with that. Instead, if they haven't shown that sort of interest just yet in wanting to purchase something from you, you're going to just comment and engage on their stuff. You're going to, but be thoughtful with it. Comment if they just made a post, the other day or today or anything like that. Comment on it. Be thoughtful. Repay the favor, especially if they commented on your stuff. Get inside their stories if they're posting stories, so that way you can get into Messenger and start building up a relationship with them. Just remember that when you're engaging with them, that is more than just dropping an emoji or a couple of words. Instead, ask them questions to build up a relationship. Put the sale to the side temporarily and focus on being like, who is the systematic chick? She's kind of cool. I like her shirt. Where did you get your shirt? Be human and ask those sort of questions. It's super cute, right, guys? Like, I'm so jealous of her new shirt. But those are the things that you can help build up something that's relatable and on a human level. So think of those sort of things as you're going through their stories. You're like, oh my gosh, what a cute dog. What's your dog's name? And like, start talking and building up a relationship on that end. But the idea is to start up conversations that will continue to drive up that relationship and warm them up essentially to you. And then when they are, as you've built up a sort of rapport with them, and they're actually starting to engage more in your content that's related to maybe your products or your business opportunity, this is when you could do the next step.
And before I dive into that next step, Anne had said she was asking a question about what sorts of topics to use for reels. Should it be a variety like posts and stories? Yes, it should be a variety. Just remember to keep it in your niche. Like for me, I do motivational inspiration, and then I do my niche too. So have fun with them. That's the key thing here. I mean, don't be all like left wing and out and talking about how the sky is blue when that has nothing to do with about who you are or what you're doing. Just remember to keep it to you, just like your stories and post. So
absolutely.
Now it's time for reach out. Oh, we both did it. It's time for reach outs, guys. So you're building up this following, you're getting views on your reels, you're starting to connect with them on Facebook posts and stories and reels, and you're engaging with them. Now, how do you reach out? How many of you just threw up in your mouth because you were like, oh, that word, reach out. Because believe me, I hated reach outs. I did not want to, make that list of 100, reach out to random people, strangers. No, I am not talking about reach outs like that. Okay. You've already built rapport with these people, utilizing that power base, connecting, commenting, engaging on their stuff. Okay. So how do you find these actual people that you want to reach out to, right? These are the ones that you're engaging with. It's simple. It's easy, guys. If you're building up a connection, maybe they hearted your stories. send them a message and say, hey, thanks for supporting me, right? So you find them because you're already engaging with them. Now you're starting a conversation with them because you're telling them, thank you for liking my story. Thank you for commenting and always showing support on my post. I say something like, thank you for supporting, my post all the times. It could be your reels, whatever it is. And then ask them if they have any questions. Just say, are you just here to support me, or did you have any questions with the product, or with struggling with weight loss or struggling with skincare, or, ask them a question, see if they're just supporting or if they're kind of interested and they do have a couple questions. Okay. And so how do you share with them once they say yes, that they're actually interested and they do have a couple questions? Now what, right? Now you're like, okay, I did a reach out. I got connected. I said, thank you. And they said, yeah, that they wanted to know more. Now what do I do, Cassie? Right? Because we get in that fear. We get stuck. It is if you can relate with me, drop me like the little hands emoji, like, yes, Cassie, you're speaking my language. Because once they say yes, I'm like, oh crap, what do I send them? Okay. You have things that you can leverage. We're not reinventing the wheel here. Okay. You have ATM groups, the ad tag and message groups that maybe your company has that is for business or for product. Ask them if they would be open to taking a look inside this group, that you could tag them a couple places, that may be able to answer their question better than you can, right? You don't have to be an expert in the field. Remember, you don't have to be that expert at all. And then once you get their permission and they say yes, always get them to say yes. Then you add them to the group and you tag them. Then you'll message them and say, hey, by the way, I just tagged you in this post. I'll check in with you tomorrow to see if you had a chance to look at it. And then you message and follow up tomorrow and say, hey, did you have time to look at it? If not, no worries. Just tell me what's the best time to get to message you back. Okay, that's it. ATM system did the work for you. You didn't have to have word vomit, right? Because I'm still working on. And it's simple. It's getting that outside perspective instead of just your own. Another thing you can do is if your company has videos or presentations, like their little 3-minute short snip of, hey, about this product or about your opportunity, ask them if it would be okay to send them a short video. And guess what? You're going to say, and I'll follow up with you in a day to see if you had any questions about it, or just shoot me some questions if you do. Okay. Follow up again. And the other way is if they're asking questions and you don't really know too much about the ATM group that you may have or what's in there, and you really don't have a video, utilize your guys' upline. 3-way chats. Most uplines, most people in your industry are open to connecting in a 3-way chat. Because again, you guys, you don't have to be the expert. Utilize those tools and those resources around you and connect them with a team member that maybe has a similar story. It doesn't just have to be upline either. It could be somebody who is in your sideline, something like that, that has a similar story to them with what they're struggling with. And you're like, oh my gosh, and Sarah Lynn had this exact same issue. Would you be open if I connected you with Sarah Lynn and myself, just so that way, if you have a question, I can get them, she can jump in and answer them a lot quicker than I can. Is that okay? Well, yeah. I mean, most people are going to say, yeah, that sounds great. So do those things, guys. You're already connecting. You're already engaging with people. You have your power base of people who you want to work with. Use your reach outs in that way where you're coming across human, right? Human first, sell second. And you're just thanking them and appreciating them for always supporting you and where you're at, and asking them if they had any questions. Does that make sense? Is that like a light bulb moment for you? Or is it like, oh, dang, I knew this, but okay, I can do it this way. Let me know in the comments.
Yeah, I'm pretty interested to hear what our little family here in our group has to say.
Yes.
So yeah, it's interesting. Like, there are so many different ways to do something,
Yeah.
especially network marketing and on social media. There's a lot of different things. And one of the biggest lessons that I've learned this year is on how I can be so where I like to think things tactically versus thinking things strategically. And ever since that light bulb
Mhm.
moment went off, I'm like, now all I want to do is do the bare minimum, but that creates the most impact in my life and in my
Right.
business. And so my strategy is always geared towards that. Um, and I hope you got that out of today's training. Where you maybe if you're struggling with finding people to talk to, if you're struggling where you're on the phone all the time, it's the complete opposite, but like nobody's buying, or you're so burnt out, or you're just feeling like you're all over the place because there's nothing very clear. Then I really challenge you, hone in on getting really, really good at reels. Like
Mhm.
that's a great place to start up with doing the bare minimum to get the maximum effort when it comes to building up your business and getting visibility on your product and on your business. And then intentionally and picking out certain people that you want to work with, not just talking to the masses or to everybody because they express some sort of interest. You want to be strategic with that so that way you don't get burnt out. Instead, you're choosing actively, and then being strategic with reaching out, but utilizing specific tools. So you're not having to be the expert or having to do
Mhm.
all of the things.
Right.
So I really, really hope you got that. I'm curious. We got 2 comments in. Let's see. So Anne said, yes, it's always a good reminder to hear something again. And then, yes, I need something that doesn't take hours to do. Super busy, bare minimum, max impact. Absolutely. And that's,
Yep.
and that's the thing. Like I'm right there. Like I have plans like for my future that does not include being glued to my computer and phone for 24/7.
Right. We've
So
done that, you guys,
yeah.
this year for the first like 5 months of this year. We did everything. We were on TikTok, we were on Instagram, we were on Facebook, we were doing all the reels, we were doing all the short form videos. We were running like our hair was on fire because that's what we thought we had to do.
Mm-hmm.
And what did it lead to?
Burnout.
Yeah, we were done. We were like,
Yep.
we're tapping out. We are done. There has to be a better way. And that's what Sarah Lynn and I both here have found. There is a better way. It's doing that less of that busyness, but having more of an impact on the people that we want to surround ourselves with and the people that, I mean, just need us to be human first, right? Because we're not robots. We can't be like this all the time, and our family needs us.
Nope.
Like I unplug in the afternoon when my kids come home. I unplug. It's about my kids, them coming home from school, basketball practice, games, and that's their time.
Absolutely. So, all right. Yes. Reels and ATM systems, where it's at, Ann.
Yep.
Absolutely. So, all right, guys, if you got value out of today's training, we ask you, we don't ask much out of you. We just ask you, hey, share with a friend or a team member this group. If you got value and you say, hey, I see you need a strategy too. Let me show you this particular training so you can understand a little bit more about how to build this business. So we ask you to do that. And as another little side thing, if you haven't done so already on the poll, go ahead and vote on that poll. It's just to talk more about pretty much, honestly, it might sum up for the rest of the year, which is kind of crazy to me, on the different workshops that we will have available for you. So if you haven't done that, if you haven't voted, go do that now. You could do more than one vote. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just meant for us to see, what do you want to learn more about first? And
Yeah.
in general,
Prioritize.
learn more about. So that you'll see a wide variety of different topics. We went a little bit overboard, but that was because we wanted to see what it is you guys were looking for. And if there's something that we missed, go ahead and add it to the list. It's okay.
Mhm.
So, all right, that's it for today. Hope you guys got some value. Let us know. If so, we will see you guys next week.
Yes.
All right,
Thanks,
bye
guys.
guys.
Bye.